Just hoping Dino comes out. Come on, Dino. Come on out. Come on, girl. What you doing? See what peeking her head out there. No lights today. Actually, I'll open these other two curtains up though. Get some more light in here. Yeah. Just so you can check on this girl. I already did this morning. I check the big girls in the morning first thing because if they need to be changed, I have the wife come up and hold them for me. It's just kind of a, but you watching Dino. Dino, you gonna come out, girl? Hey, puppy. What you think, buddy? Dino gonna come out or what? Dino, come on, girl. Oh, hold up. They fucked that curtain right up. I don't know if I can get to it. Maybe I can. Screws up, that might help. I learned not to lean on this table. As you can see, it's bent. Because I'm an idiot. Oh, come on. And I went and fucking kneeled in the middle of it to fix that curtain one time. Hey, good morning. Must be Evan. Do you know we're gonna come out, bud? Yeah, maybe Dad needs to go in here. Sure, peek your head out. Hey, what are you doing, girl? You gonna come out and say hi? You don't have to. You don't have to, but you can if you want. What's going on this morning, Evan? Oh, nothing really here. Same old, same old. Got the sun shining. Just fed this girl last night. Hey, pretty girl. And I'll take her out this morning. Maybe I'll take Aurora out. I'll just bring her up closer. So maybe you can hear me. Oh, give me a bud. Come on. It's okay, it's just Dad. I know you want to come out. You can come out. Come on, buddy. Hi, bud. Good morning. They're getting more used to the new schedule. Because I used to come up here first thing in the morning. Now I'm coming up later just so that way if I feel like doing a live. I don't feel like doing one at 6:30 in the morning. This is Captain. This is Dad of all the babies. Well, some of the babies, I should say. Well, this guy went again. All right. Captain, he's a 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 7 years old. He's 7. This guy's 7. A lot of mine are 7 because I got them all in 2019. You know, like Lepers are 2019, Feisty's a 2019. Sunny's a 2019. Electra, my fucking pied albino, she's a 2019. Caesar, Blaze, Capone, Callie. I got most of all my snakes. What's going on, Casey? Oh, no shit. Cool. I appreciate you popping in to say hello before you go. I've got, 4. I moved 4 into single enclosures. It's just because fucking they were too big for my CB70s. You know what I mean? So I went and I got a couple other fucking big totes too. Fucking. But I got to get some heat mats and some more fucking thermostats because I'm at my fucking max with fucking all my thermostats. No, I appreciate you popping in, Casey. I see you commented on, I think it was my Instagram. I love these guys. I know some people think that's me being rude to him, but it's not. He could care less. Oh, dude, I should have fucking... The other morning, check this out. I don't know if you can see it. This guy's cat across the street the other morning, I swear to God, his fucking cat was fucking losing its mind. You see it sitting there in the driveway? That fucking cat was in the middle of the road the other day with its back. Oh, he almost acts like he's going to do it again. He was sitting there with his back arched in the middle of the road. Oh. Fucking. And it had its back all. Oh, look, he's going to do it again. He was acting all fucking weird and shit. Almost like he was fucking. Look. Yeah, there he goes again, acting all stupid. But he's only walking around with his back all arched and shit. Acting all weird. Sitting at the fucking right at the end of my driveway. Oh, look. Yeah, see? Look. There ain't no bugs out there. It's fucking not even 20 degrees out. Look at that. I'm fucking telling you, that cat is fucking on fucking some badass meds or something. You threw me on one of your posts? Oh, no shit. Do you see that fucking cat? It was the other day. It was had its back all arched, walking up and down the street, but like sideways and shit. And then all of a sudden, like winging around. I mean, if you've ever seen rabid fucking animals, it was acting like that. Look, acting like it's fucking waiting for my dog to come out. My dog's fucking good with all the animals. I just don't want him near that fucking cat in case that cat is whacked. But look at it. Well, yeah, and the neighbor next door there is fucking. He's a. And I don't want to say anything bad about fucking, a vet, but he's got some really shady characters that fucking hang out over there. And I'm sorry, but we know most all, veterans and probably fucking justifiable reasons are mostly on a lot of medications. And these people that he's got around seem like the type of people, because I mean, they're just dirty. Not so much him, but he lives there and he lets all these weirdos stay with him, and they're just dirty people. You know what I mean? And they don't stand outside and do the fentanyl shuffle, but they probably do it inside. I mean, which is sad. But at least I don't have one behind me that lives behind me and that I share a fucking drive with no more. Want to see if he acts weird this morning. This is lightning. It's got thunder rather. This is the guy that's got the quirkiness to him. I'll move my fucking coffee so he don't spill it. But you guys can watch him and see what he does. I just changed him too the other day. I'm gonna put Captain back here. He probably won't act weird at all, because like I said, oh, come on back. No, you don't need to stay out. Oh, to get back to these fucking enclosures there, fucking Evan. I'll pull him back so you can also see me. I don't know if you can hear me though. But these, I can only have certain snakes in them still. Like, I can't put, like, Capone in there. He's too fucking long. I got some others that I'd like to take out of the CV70s. Like, Callie's not a big snake. And I'd like to throw him in one of those and be able to move, like, Tiana up to a CB70 tub. And everything just takes fucking time. Moving costs a lot of fucking money. Not just buying the fucking house, but just moving, period. You know how it is. Move. Oh, look, yeah, he's acting a little fucking funky now. You know how it is. Fucking, you move into a new place, your wife goes, or your girlfriend, or whatever goes, hey, oh, we gotta have new furniture. So then we go out and buy a sectional. Fucking, and them ain't cheap. And it's a fucking leather one, so that way the dog wouldn't fucking ruin it, Because they had some other fucking couches that were a lot fucking cheaper. But we both fucking knew with letting the dog, sit wherever he wants, they weren't gonna hold up to him. It was, a little bit fucking thicker than fucking curtain material. And I was just like, yeah. I'd rather pay the extra fucking money and make sure the fucking couch lasts at least a couple fucking years. And that's just from him getting up and on it. Because I know Casey knows how it is. Your dog gets excited and you let him fucking on your furniture. They get excited, they run and they jump on the furniture. And that's what fucks our furniture up mostly. Because our dogs, we've always had really good luck with our dogs. Our dogs didn't chew our furniture up, and and he's excitable. You know, my buddy fucking gets really excited. You know, fucking, and when a cane gets excited, fucking, and they're happy, fucking everybody in the house is fucking knows. You know, because he's not a fucking light dog for one, so you hear, in case he knows exactly what I'm talking about. Fucking just them being heavy, you hear them, and then fucking on top of that, fucking they're a fucking muscular dog, and you hear every fucking movement that they make when they're even outside. You can hear them fucking their feet pounding on the fucking ground. It's fucking incredible. And tear fucking shit. I'm talking, you know, great big clumps of fucking grass up when, you know, when he's excited, and fucking, I'm sure yours does zoomies too. He gets so excited sometimes when we go outside. He just starts running just as fucking hard as he can, and then tries to turn on a dime, and the motherfucker is almost laying on his side and running back the other way. It's fucking incredible. I mean, my American Bulldog kind of did the same thing, but not like him. He is trying to drift like around the corner. When he goes right straight, and he doesn't slow down. He just fucking turns and lays on his side and is running too, fucking just peeling out, and I mean throwing fucking chunks of fucking dirt everywhere. You know, grass, fucking whatever. I mean, it's awesome because I love fucking anybody that loves dogs. You know, our best fucking times with our dogs are when our dogs are acting like fools, because they're fucking showing how happy they are. You know what I mean? And he's happy from the time he gets up to the time he goes to bed. But, and you know, they're a lot of fucking company because he is so fucking smart. He's got such a great personality. He's great with kids. He's good with my snakes. He's good with my lizards. The bird, you know, I got my parrot out. Fucking the bird ain't afraid of him. I mean, everybody gets along here. Kind of letting everybody fucking kind of watch him. And I'm not saying that other dogs can't do it too, because yes, I had my pit bull would do laps and all that, but like I said, he just, you know, none of them have put the effort really into what he does. You know, I mean, like I said, just for the simple fact that him peeling out and literally being on his side and still fucking just fucking legs flying, and him still fucking, you know, keeping up momentum and fucking just flying. Because for the most part, he trots around and shit, but he's not a, big fucking run around, crazy all the time. But he gets so excited, when anybody's outside with him, and he don't even give two fucks if you were even doing anything with him. He just sit for the simple fact likes having somebody out there, to hang out with. He gets so excited. And they're incredible too. I mean, I've had other dogs that, I go away for 10, 15 minutes. I come back and it's like I've been gone all day. But literally, I go outside to grab the mail, which is just, you see, my driveway's not very long. I come back in and he acts like I was gone, like when I'm gone all day on the motorcycle. Literally. And he watches me out the window and sees that I never actually left, and he acts like a complete idiot. Like I was just gone for so long. Hi, buddy. Let's show everybody. You're really not distressed that bad. It looks worse than it is. Because he's another one. Look, I can grab him by his head too, and he don't care. He really don't. It doesn't bother him. It's just the way they are, the ones that have that spider in them. And I've got Marvin that's got a little bit of this, but he doesn't do this shit. Marvin will like fucking, I don't know, all of a sudden he'll fucking look and then he like slides his head sideways and look at you. You know what I mean? There's not an actual wobble there, even when I go to feed him, because you think this is bad, you should see this fucking guy when I go put a fucking rat in there. He's just like, I mean, fucking all over the head, all over the head, all over the place, because fucking he gets so excited because he knows he's gonna be fed. But that's why sometimes he will miss, you know, and that's why I put it like right in front of him, so that way, because he has gone and missed. If I keep it at any distance, he'll go and he'll like smack his head off the enclosure and shit, and you know, and it doesn't really bother him because he's not like doing like Aurora will do sometimes. Sometimes I come up here feeding other snakes, and when I go turn that light switch on over there, I'll hear her slam that tub because she thinks that because I walk by that I'm food, and she fucking slams that tub. But it's only at food time, you know. If I put this guy back. But he's such a good boy. I mean, you know, like I said, there are some people who go, oh my God, that's so mean, but that's not mean at all. Still giving him the best life that he can have. He eats good. You know, I just learned that there's... Oh, you brought somebody with you? This guy's in shed. I'm gonna take Raven out here. I just want to go through the tubs. There you go. There's this is one of the freebies. Like Coral Glow Pastel, Coral Glow, or Banana Pastel. They're both the same thing. Or I guess there are slight differences, but this is Corona. This is Corona. She's in shed. Yeah, starting to get pink belly. Yeah, you got a female, right? I'm pretty sure you said you got a female. No, we got an actual true Cane Corso. He's not the bully Cane Corso. You know what I mean? He is what a real Italian Cane Corso should be. Fucking, he's 120 fucking pounds, and I'm gonna keep him that way. He's 4 years old, so yes, it's a lot easier keeping the weight the way it should be right now, you know, as opposed to later on. But I'm gonna try to keep him. His parents are registered. He's not registered. You know what I mean? They didn't register the litter, but both his parents are. I think your friend already left. I'm not for everybody. But yeah, he is your true blue, you know, what your regular, real Cane Corso is, not the Cane Corso fucking. And I know yours is too, because I've seen your female. You know, he's got a big head, but he doesn't have that big blocky head, and he doesn't have that American Bulldog style body. You know what I mean? He's, you know, what they're supposed to look like. And there's a lot of them that are him, but they just fucking overfeed him because they think it's so impressive to have these big fucking overweight dogs that aren't gonna last as long as fucking he is. You know, I just had an American Bulldog last fucking 15 years. You know, 3 days before his birthday, I had to put him down because he got basically had cancer. Had pancreatic cancer. Pancreatic, or was it the other P one? There's another P word too. Pancreas. Pancreas cancer. Right? Because pancreas and prostate No, he had prostate cancer. That's what it was. Prostate cancer. But he survived double ACL surgeries at 5 years old at the same time, which was horrible. But he lived to 15 years old. So sometimes, spending the money, because it cost us fucking $10,000 for those 2 fucking surgeries and his aftercare. Sorry about the F-bomb if anybody's offended by it, but that's just part of me. But, and he lived to be 15 years old, but he had 5 years. So he was 10 years old when we found out he had prostate cancer, but he lived another 5 years, and then all of a sudden one morning, he couldn't get up. His ass end wouldn't work. Almost like feline leukemia. If anybody's ever had feline leukemia before and seen it in a cat, I mean, 1 minute they're fine, and then the next minute they just can't use their ass end. My mother swore to God I kicked our cat or something. And I was so fucking pissed because I love animals. And I was like, I didn't kick that cat. She goes, well, that cat was just fine. I go, I know. I was just sitting here watching it. And it walked over, sat down, and then all of a sudden started meowing and fucking acting like it was in so much pain. And I was like, what the fuck? Well, come find out it was feline leukemia. We took it to the vet. And because my mother swore up and down it was me, they did x-rays and they did friggin' blood work, and come find out it was. Then the vet said, oh yeah, it can definitely come on that fast. So luckily I got out of that. But oh yeah, I instantly, they all know how much I love animals, and that's the other thing that pissed me off, to get accused of, no, I don't. I personally am not really a cat person. A good cat shits and pisses outdoors and hangs out in the house, maybe to sleep at night, but then wants to go do its job, keep rodents and shit out of your yard. And I have no problem patting a cat and all that, but that's the kind of cat I've always had. We've never had a litter box in the house. My cats have always gone outside. Casey, I look at this. I literally litter box trained my fucking Savannah monitor. You see that? See the white in there? That's her fucking piss. Fucking, she kept going in her water bowl. And I go, well, Jesus Christ, since I've had her, I've had her for 4 years, since she was this big. And I said, what the hell? She's always gone in her water bowl. I go, so why don't I try putting a fucking, some sort of fucking container in there with some, cocoa or some sort of substrate, and see if she'll fucking go in it. I bought that, it's like a water trough, or it's for fucking, feeding. It's a feed trough or a water trough for a bigger animal. But I wanted something, because as it is, when she comes in and out, she pulls just like a cat. That's why I hate them cat boxes. They always pull litter out, and I get it. But so fucking, she does that. Fucking, when she gets in and out of it, she drops she brings some cocoa out with her. But for the most part, it stays inside, and it's so easy to clean. Fucking dump it out, spray it out, because the cocoa fucking dries it all up. And when she pees, yes, it's just kind of like a snake. There's like a pee plug that comes out, a white pee plug, and then the urates come out, the pee comes out, and sometimes shit will come out too, because anybody that knows anything about lizards knows that, they're just like snakes. Everything comes out of the same place. So sometimes it'll just be pee, and then sometimes it's both. But no, she's been using that fucking thing for a month now. Fucking, I think it's awesome. And it's been the same way with our cats. Our cats would ask to go outside. People don't fucking realize that. Cats are only as stupid as the fucking owners. Everybody thinks cats are stupid, so they don't try to teach them nothing. But you can teach a cat. A cat's no different than a fucking dog, really. I mean, you're not going to get them to do, some of the elaborate shit that a dog can do. But everybody knows that, you call your cat for the most part. If your cat has a good relationship with you, it's going to come to you. Well, that's all done by training, and it's because the cat wants the interaction. You do that with a dog. You get a dog that truly loves you, and they'll bend their fucking back to do everything that you ask of them in the best way they can because they just want to please you. A cat, same way. Any animal's the same way. I swear to God. I do. I look at all animals just like that. That if I do my part, there ain't an animal out there that I can't break that barrier where it might not love me, but it will respect me enough to where it's not going to bite me. It's not going to want to harm me. It's going to trust me enough to know that I'm not going to harm it. It's going to take time. Christ, it took almost fucking 4 years for my Savannah monitor to get over this. Now I can pat her, I can cuddle with her, and she doesn't try to eat my fingers. She doesn't look at them like sausages no more. It's fucking amazing, But it took a long fucking time to get that with her. But I knew eventually, because it's all about baby steps. In the very beginning, fucking, if I did this, just this fucking, she was darting at and wanting to eat my fingers from the time she was this big. And even then, fucking her bite would have hurt. If she had bit me, it would have fucking hurt then. And, now it would really fucking hurt. No, that's my hand. Yeah, I got a new schedule, Casey. I don't know when I'm going to be on anymore now. But I kind of miss being on, but when I came back, it still takes all day for these to upload. You know what I mean? These lives to upload, it takes all friggin' day. And when I first come back, you ask Evan, it was taking 2 fucking days, literally 2 full days after for my live to upload that I did. And I was just getting frustrated. I was like, guess YouTube doesn't want me to come back because that's just, and one of them was a half an hour. And it took 2 fucking days to upload a half an hour. And I've been doing better about my damn mouth, though. I make sure that I wait a decent amount of time in the very beginning of my video before I throw the F-bomb. Because then they don't go and... I make my videos not made for kids. But you can also... But I don't age rate my video, you know what I mean? I don't fucking lock it out to 18 and over. But I do mark not made for kids. And as long as I keep my mouth clean for, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or whatever the hell it is, they don't dock me and they won't go and send me a nice little message saying, we want you to age restrict your video because of my bad mouth. It ain't even what the hell I'm talking about. It's just my bad mouth. If I just took the swear words out, it sounds like I could pretty much say whatever I want. And sorry, but the swear words are part of what I want to say. Home of the free. Yeah, you missed it. Yeah, they didn't even flag my kill your local pedophile shirt yesterday. My daughter made it for me. I got a couple other shirts too. My daughter bought me for my birthday. One of them says something that I'm a proud owner of some retard kids or something. My kids got a really, really good sense of humor. But they're my kids. Why wouldn't they have a good sense of humor, right? Oh, shit. Yeah, I'll take Raven out. Let me go through these guys real quick. I think Raven might be in shed, so I might not take her out for long, but we'll get her out. And we'll see how she acts. I always say that. We know how she's going to act. She's going to be fine. Hey, Casey, I appreciate you bringing people here. But they're probably not gonna want to fucking hang out. And that's fine. You guys are enough. I don't know if Dale's back. Dale was in a couple times ago. For a couple videos. Or a couple lives, I should say. Well, there. I've gone through all of them. Oh, fucking, you guys been going over and hitting fucking, Patrick, a little bit of everything. He changed his name, but you guys know who I'm talking about. Fucking, he's still fucking kicking ass, dude. And he does fucking live shorts, fucking rap videos, fucking, and he reached out to me yesterday. He must have picked up Instagram or something, and he picked me up on Instagram. But I've been watching his stuff, but like you guys know, normally I watch on my TV, so all I do is like people's fucking videos and shit. Oh, no shit, that's cool. I appreciate that. No, I mean, you know how it is too. I mean, not that I don't appreciate fucking Evan watching, but you know, if it's just me and Evan, I can only say the same shit fucking all the time, and Evan don't want to keep hearing the same shit. You know. Hey, Casey, I want to ask you, did you get snow? I want to find out how much snow you got. Fucking Evan got 10 inches. You didn't get any snow. We got 16, but I mean, that's no big deal for us. You know what I mean? But it was a big deal for Evan. Evan says they still got school closed down. He says they still got 4 inches of snow. You know what I mean? And Evan, those guys, they get snow. It's like a couple fucking inches. You know what I mean? And that shuts them down because they don't have, you know, snow removal and all that because they don't normally have snow. If they get snow, it's normally gone in the afternoon or by late evening. Fucking, and they've had snow for what, a week now, Evan? Over a week? Well, what was it, last weekend? Not last weekend, but the weekend before, I think. The Monday before. Because ours came in, started on Sunday and went into Monday. Not this Monday, but the Monday before. I can't. Yeah. No, he didn't lose power though. You know what I mean? Fucking, that's the biggest thing that I always worry about. And yes, I got a generator, but like I told Evan, even though you're all set up, it still sucks scrambling. You know, because I still got to go and get my fucking generator out of my fucking tool room and get it out around and then haul the cord. And, you know, I don't have it like easily accessible because we don't normally lose power that often. So I don't really want it where it's in the way or out in the elements, you know what I mean? So, and it's just a pain in the ass. But yes, I feel very thankful. School's closed again today. It snowed a little more last night. No shit. How much you get last night? Because even a couple inches is a big deal. If you already had 4, that puts you fucking back at 7 or 6. You know what I mean? Holy fuck, dude. That's a lot of snow for them. Hey, you too, buddy. You get headed to work? Well, you have a good day. I appreciate you hanging out. Well, I can come on a little earlier, but I figured it works better if I used to come on at 10:30. Yeah, no shit. Yeah, that's what I expected. I might do it again tomorrow. Probably tomorrow morning. I figured I'd start fucking just coming up and doing a live and when I'm going through tubs and see if anybody wants to pop in. Somebody pops in like you did today and Evan did yesterday and somebody else did. I sat here, but I had to go do bread. That bread was fucking hard. The fucking top and the outside because I didn't get it right out of the fucking oven. All right, buddy. It's 7:07. Oh, that's right. Fucking so it's super early there. Yeah, fuck yeah. I'm telling you, like I told you, sometimes it surprises the hell out of us what videos actually people like to watch. The ones that we'd expect that aren't going to do good, sometimes kick ass. You know, you just don't know what people are thinking about and how what people are feeling that day. You know what I mean? It's really incredible. Oh no shit, you are? Reptiles or like farm animals? What kind of animals? I used to have mallards, and I would love to get mallards again. But reptiles, oh no shit. That's fucking cool. That's cool. I forgot. I'm gonna take Raven out. She's in her hide. Like I said, I got a feeling. I think she's actually going in the shed. There's her head. See it right there? Look where I put my hand. Huh? Right in front of her face. Tell me she ain't got fucking 100% better, huh? I mean, it's fucking incredible. It really is the whole turnaround. Her whole turnaround. Evie is moving and can't take a lot of her geckos. Oh no shit, yeah. So she is moving back to Puerto Rico? Micro squirrels? What the fuck are those? Are they like those sugar glides? Rubber boas? Rubber boas? Is that a real boa or is that like rubber boas? Hey, if you gotta go, we could talk fucking later. But yeah, I would be interested in fucking hearing about your micro squirrels and those rubber boas. Her colors really ain't coming out that great, but this is natural lighting. Can you see her purples? No, I can tell that this is like a maroon. It's not. No, it's not. She's not just tan and black. She's maroon, and this is actually not even black. That's almost like a purplish underneath, color. God, that gorgeous tail of hers. Oh, but yeah, well, I don't know. Looking at her belly, she don't really look, like she's going in the shed. Oh yeah, this is Raven. All right, Mister you Casey, have an awesome day, buddy. I woke up with a fucking clump of shit in the back of my throat this morning, and I still got it there. But it's not like in my throat; it's like in my friggin' nasal passage. It's like a big gob of shit that's just dry sitting there, and it won't fucking. I can't get it down. Yeah, look how scared I am of her now, huh? I scared her. The little. She's not used to that. Can't say that I ever kissed her that close to her head before. But see, she's just a sweetheart. She is. Pat her tail. She don't give a fuck. She says, "I'm with Chuck, and I don't give a fuck." But she is such a sweetheart. Oh, and I think Dale's right. I don't think I've got anything to worry about now. If I get bit by any of my boas, it's gonna be a food reaction, a behavior. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be because they, just upset at me. You know, because I mean, look at them. Yesterday, I made a fucking joke to Evan that I was sitting here with a dead snake because Foxy, I had Foxy out and she wasn't moving, and he popped in well after I had been sitting there with her, and she hadn't moved the whole time. And I said, "Yeah, I'm just sitting here with a dead snake." And he thought I was telling the truth, and I go, and I waited a second, and then he was like, "No way." I said, "No, that would be super morbid, and that ain't me. I wouldn't sit here with a dead snake. You know, if I was showing a dead snake here, he did too. And I don't know, so honestly, if you want a good laugh, you should go watch the live that I did yesterday. In the very beginning, it's like it is here, but then I pull one of my snakes out, and then I sit here at this table. But you should watch it because my boas are so chill. You know how everybody normally says, "Oh, get yourself a boa if you want a snake that moves around." Well, my boas aren't normally that. Because I don't even have to sit here and keep her here. She won't try to go away. She will just kind of mill around on me or whatever, but she won't try to go anywhere. And most of my other boas, once I sit down with them, they just sit there and hang out. They don't like we're told ball pythons act. And Evan will tell you, my ball pythons act more like what boas are supposed to act like than my boas. My boas act more like fucking what we're told that your balls are. They just want to sit and hang out with you. Well, that's what my boas normally do. I got pictures of my Roxy girl. I can take her out. Oh, careful, girl. She lost her fucking balance. And Roxy girl, I take out, and she'll sit right in my lap, and I can watch a whole fucking movie, and she'll sit right there. I swear to God, she's sleeping. I got lots of videos of it, and all my other boas are the same way. Once they've been out, and and the oh, what's going on is past, which is like within a few seconds, of oh my word, when I'm taking them out, oh, what's going on. But within seconds after that, it's just okay. We're just gonna sit here and hang out then. And I didn't sit there and try to keep Roxy sitting there with me yesterday. She just wanted to hang out with me. And she just sat right there to the point where I fooled him and told him that she was dead, and he believed that. She wasn't tongue. And I mean, I was sitting there for a good 15 minutes, and she hadn't moved. And then finally, I, told him, I said, "No, she's alive. What, you don't want to go back? You don't have to go back if you don't want to." Sometimes she likes to hang on longer than I like her to, because for the most part, when I put them in the tub, I let them leave me. I don't pull them off. I don't peel them off me and shit. You know what I mean? I let them go on their own, time, so that way they don't get jumped and all that. And I mean, I can sometimes, if I need to, I will, but for the most part, I'll just do this. And a lot of people say, "Oh, picking them up and putting them away is the most fucking dangerous time," and it really isn't for me. You know what I mean? It really isn't for me. I taking them out and doesn't seem any more dangerous or less dangerous to me than just holding them, because she doesn't want to go back. All right, you don't have to. You don't have to. I gotta peel her face off there. I'm not gonna stick you back. You're fine. And I don't force them to go back. Oh, girl, why are you flopping around? Easy. I've got you. You're okay. You're okay. Me, I bet she is. She probably is just going into the stock, because Evan will tell you she doesn't normally act like that, but you see, even as floppy as she got, she never got mean or nasty. She's a good sized girl too. She's probably close to 6 foot, I guess. But yeah, we'll try to get her back now. Cause I always say that too. You always want to end on a good note. You don't want to put them back too late. You know, you don't want to have them out so long that they get so irritated that that's what they remember the next time you have them out. You know what I mean? You want to end it before they get to the point where they don't like it, because then the next time you go take them out, that's what they're thinking about. They're going, oh, that was so horrible the last time he took me out. I don't, so when he goes to take me out next time, I'm going to fucking let him know I don't want him to. You know what I mean? It's a partnership. You good to me, I'm going to be good to you, And that's my philosophy with all my animals. Is if long as I show them respect, I always get it right back. I've never had to, sometimes it takes a little longer to gain it. That trust and respect, but it's worth every minute of it to me. When you can get to a point where, I don't hook train. I've never hook trained. I've always just done the same thing you're seeing me do right now. This girl is a ground boa, so I give her fluffy paper towels in here for her to hide amongst. But this is my big girl. Weight-wise, probably not. Lengthwise, I think Raven might be a little longer than her. But you see her in amongst here. There's Roxy. This is the girl that literally I put around my neck, and she will just sit here. If I set her on that table and set her in front of me, she'll just sit there. Dumeril's boas, this is a Dumeril's boa, which is a ground boa. And she is so chill. She is the chillest, super chill snake. Has been from get-go. Yeah, she is, isn't she? This girl, I don't know how much she weighs, actually, because I haven't weighed her in forever. I mean, I used to. When my snakes shed, that's when I always would weigh them. So that way I had a date when I last weighed, and I also had a date when they last shed. But I've been keeping snakes now for almost 8 years, and I did all that because I was worried that, I wanted to see if they lost weight, because I wanted to make sure that they were healthy. But after you've had snakes for a long period of time, when your snake's still gaining or when they're losing, you know what I mean? And so I don't really weigh them anymore, but I would say she's definitely over 5 pounds. She's probably 10, 12, right now. She's a 2018, 2000. She is, I gotta figure out what Raven is. I used to have tape on these. Oh, I do have hers, because it's Raven's tub right there, I believe. And that should have the tape on the top. Or on the front. Is it on the front? Oh man, it's not on there. Huh. Raven's right there, 2018. So this is a 2018. Right? Yes. She's a year older than Raven. Raven is a 2000. Oh, there's my Savannah monitor. She decided to come out and say hi to Dad. Hi, girl. Hi, Dino. Want Dad to hang out with you now? Hi, girl. But check out her pattern, though, before I put her back, because I'll sit and hang out with Dino. But look at that belly. I'm hoping you can see her belly pattern. She's got pinks. Okay, I don't know if it's going to show. But she's got wicked pinks and oranges, and she's beautiful. And she's got them here on the sides too. It just doesn't show up very good on here, but this is actually almost like a orange, almost like a tangerine or a mandarin color. You know, and this is like a brown, and it's the mandarin color in between there. It's harder. This is natural lighting, but it's hard to show the colors on these guys. And look, she's got a cool ass head stamp. You can see the orange. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, but I'm telling you, it's more prominent because I go back. Well, I'm not a fucking idiot, and I'm not. What do you call it? I don't go on and get off watching myself anyway, but I go watched because I like watching what my snake's fucking doing, because for the most part, I don't sit here and pay attention to what they're doing right now. I'm more concentrating on trying to remember what I'm talking about. So I like to go back and watch my videos. I like to watch her reaction when I go and take her out, you know, because a little background story with her. When I first got her, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It's actually sucks. And I've actually got a pretty decent phone, you know what I mean? My phone is actually really a decent one. It's one of them fucking S22 Ultras. I mean, yeah, it's probably 3 years old now, but it's still got really good picture compared to my old phone that I had, you know. But it's still nothing compares to. Oh, look, Dino's playing with a dog toy. I'll put Raven back so we can hang out with Dino. She's a Savannah monitor. I've had her since she was 4. Oh, I should say too, Roxy, this girl right here that I have, she's also in a lot of my other boas too. They're so chill that normally if this was during hours that they'd normally be awake, because my snakes sleep during the day and they're first thing in the morning and late at night. Look, here's Dino. Here's Dino. Here's Dino. She's a lot bigger than she looks down there on the floor. But yeah, I can finally pat her, because when I first got her, I couldn't do this. She would bite the shit out of me just because she was so food motivated. You know what I mean? That all it would take is doing this with my fingers, and she'd want to climb up my leg and eat my fingers and bite me and eat me and everything else. But look how good she is with my dog, and my dog with her. Yeah, that's Dino from the Flintstones. I'm 53. I don't know how old you are, but if you know the Flintstones, that's where I got Dino. I grew up fucking watching the Flintstones and always fucking wanted Dino. You know, ever since I watched the Flintstones, I said, man, that's what I want. You know, being a kid, you think you can have anything that you see on TV, you know, and I was like, man, I just want one of those Dino dinosaurs. So as soon as I got her, and I actually had her given to me. Yes, I love the Flintstones. Fucking, you know what I mean? That was a good, overall, all around good cartoon. You know, I think. There's lots of them. I don't know why Mighty Mouse ain't on anymore. I don't know if you're that old, but Mighty Mouse was a great video too. You know, and you don't ever see nothing about Mighty Mouse. I mean, you can go on YouTube and find like Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote videos, but they, you know, I don't know why our cartoons that were so awesome back when we were a kid, I guarantee you the kids of this era, too, if they were watching, you know, brought up watching that kind of TV, they would be right into it too. Yeah, you know what I mean? They were some good cartoons. The fucking Coyote and Roadrunner, nobody actually really fucking thought they were gonna go out and blow somebody up. Nobody really actually put, you know, as much thought into it as fucking parents think, that kids really think, you know, that this is how, you know, society works. We don't like something or whatever, we're gonna go out and blow it up or try to drop it off a fucking mountain. I mean, come on. We you know, I didn't grow up fucking being a dick because of cartoons. I grew up being a dick because of what the world handed me, and I turned it around and made something better out of it. I made it so I wasn't, for one, when shit happens, you know, like fucking family members saying fuck you and they don't want nothing to do with you anymore, you harden up a little bit, you know. Yeah, they did. I'm telling you. I mean, those were some great cartoons. You know, I love the old cartoons, and you know, the old Tarzan. A lot of people don't remember the old original Tarzan, which he didn't look like, you know, ain't nothing like the Tarzan that you see remotely now. It looked like a real Tarzan guy. There was an actual real storyline, not some made up, some bullshit line. Johnny Quest. That was a fucking great one because it was, you know, they always had stuff going on with animals. You know, Johnny Quest was one of my favorite cartoons just because of the animals. Fucking, Mutual of Omaha's, you know, Wild Kingdom, man. I love that show. I don't know why we don't have shit like that anymore. You know, that Hannah guy, he passed away, and Brian Barchek passed away, and see, I don't remember that one, Kimber and the White Lion. I don't remember that one. But I watched all them animal shows, you know. I like Three Stooges. That was pretty good too. I mean, they took that off because it was too violent. And as long as the Three Stooges were out, I never grew up with any of me and my buddies ever fucking punching each other or poking each other in the fucking eyes because we watched the, you know, oh, you're older than me? All right, well, see, I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with that. We knew right from wrong. And I keep telling people, the problem nowadays is we was taught respect right from the time we started crawling. Literally. We were taught no respect. All that shit fucking came all at once fucking from the time I was crawling. You know, kids don't even realize how fucking good we had it. Fucking wake up in the morning, go, get out of the house. Right after breakfast, get out. You had to be back at whatever time dinner was, you know, and then you go back, you eat dinner, and then it was get out of the house again. They didn't give a fuck where you went. Like I was telling Evan yesterday, I didn't have to call because I went from one friend's house to another. You know what I mean? We fucking went wherever we was. We just had to be back when our fucking parents told us. That was it. You know, which was, you know, lunchtime and at supper time. And then at supper time, it was get the fuck out again. And it was come back. Your ass needs to be in the yard when the street light comes on. You know, when you see the street light come on, you need to get your ass home. And literally, that was it. We didn't have to fucking tell them nothing. I remember grabbing my fucking fishing pole at fucking 8, 9 years old and walking with, like, my buddy that was 10. And we'd walk 2 fucking miles down this dirt road and go fucking fishing in a stream all day. No, it didn't have to be home because I'd tell them, look, I'm going fishing, and they'd know, you know, I was going to be gone all fucking day, and I wouldn't come home until fucking it was supper time. And nobody worried about me. Nobody sent anybody looking for me. I mean, we had it awesome. You know, now you got helicopter parents, or you got fucking parents that just want to throw the fucking TV or throw some video game in their hand because it's so much easier than raising a fucking kid. Fuck no, I raised my kids too. My kids went outside, you know, because I knew things were changing. We was the type of parents that if they were going to somebody else's house and they were spending the night, yes, we had to make sure that their parents were on the same page as us, that, you know, if there's an older brother or anything like that, that they're not going to be anywhere near each other at bedtime and, you know, that kind of thing. But we pretty much did the same thing that the way I was brought up. I didn't put fucking helmets on my kids to ride their bicycles. You know what I mean? I bought them fucking them little fucking crotch rockets. No helmet. I didn't give a fuck. I grew up. That's how you learn, you know, to be smart. By not fucking, you know, by growing up and being able to do what you want. And if you fucking something happens, you figure out how to straighten it out. That's the way it was. None of us went screaming to home, fucking, oh, I got a splinter. And Christ, I would have got cuffed. They would go, if you're going to act like that, I'm going to give you a reason to act like that. Because that little fucking splinter in your hand ain't a reason to act like that. You know what I mean? I mean, it was just so different back when I was growing up. Now everybody wants to fucking, you know, keep the kid in the yard, and they won't let them go and explore it all. I let my kids fucking run off into the fucking woods one day, you know, at where we used to live. And because I grew up at my grandmother's house. She had 350 acres of property, and we had a river that ran around the property, you know, but she had 350 acres of fucking forest with her house sitting in the middle of it, up on the bank where you could see down over, and the river was all there. And I grew up walking through the fucking woods all the time when growing up, before I could even hunt and shit, because then I started hunting there. But we moved down, just down over the hill past my grandmother's house, and we had a 5-acre field, and then it was all woods around that. Well, I let my kids go out and run around. I just told them, you know, hey, you know, try to, you know, don't go too far, you know, but go ahead. You guys can go and explore. Well, I don't know. They were gone 20, 25 fucking minutes. And the kids came back to the house, and our oldest, and she was like 13. You know what I mean? It's not like we were sending fucking 8-year-olds out fucking exploring. But she was like, I don't know, 12, 13 years old. And my son was, what, 9, and our other daughter was 9. So they were all out hanging out together. Well, they came in the house, and fucking Kayla's all out of breath, our oldest. And I'm like thinking nothing of it, you know. And then all of a sudden my son speaks up and goes, wow, we were gone for a long time. And I go, what? You weren't gone longer than 20, 25 minutes. My kid goes, what? No, we were gone longer than that. I go, no, you weren't. He goes, well, we got lost. I said, you was lost? I said, how the hell did you get lost? He goes, I don't know. He goes, we just started following the dog. I had a fucking Rottweiler at the time, female Rottweiler. Well, she loved the kids. You know, all my dogs have always gone, you know, if there's a kid outside, that's where my dogs are. And so the dog's walking around out in the woods with them. Well, they started following the dog. and so when they started getting concerned that, you know, they were lost, they fucking telling the dog, hey, let's go find home. Bring us home. And the dog isn't going to go anywhere. She's just going to stay with those kids. She's not trying to lead them anywhere. She's just trying to, and Shasta would stay where she could see you. She wouldn't go so far that she couldn't see you. And if you turned around, she would come. You know what I mean? She wasn't the type of dog you had to keep her around. Literally, I used to do it all the time. She'd fucking go, as far as I wanted to, and then I just turned and start walking the other direction. Not even tell her that I was going. Well, it would fucking freak her out because she'd be like, "Oh my God, you didn't fucking tell me," you know what I mean? So I didn't even have to tell her. She would just only go so far, and then she would stop and wait to see if I was going to continue. So anyway, she'd do the same thing with the damn kids. Well, fucking, she had him running around, fucking just walking around through the woods. So my son goes, "Oh my God, we was fucking lost, and Shasta wouldn't bring us home." And I go, "You weren't lost." He goes, "What?" I said, "You weren't lost." I said, "If you was lost, somebody would have to come find you." I said, you literally have to have somebody come find you in order for you to be lost. You might fucking not know where you are for period of time, but you're not actually lost. You just don't happen to know where you are, but you guys found your way home. I said, so you wasn't really lost. You just didn't know exactly where you was at the time. And then they started thinking about it, and they go, "Geez, that sounds like logical." They're going, "It sounds logical. We got two fucking 6-year-olds, or 2 8-year-olds and a 13-year-old. They're all starting to run it around their head, and they're like, "Yeah, that sounds logical. Nobody did have to come find us, so I guess we weren't lost." But that was the last time that ever happened. You know what I mean? They learned from it that, hey, if we go out in the woods, we want to probably go and start looking for landmarks, and pick out stuff that we want to recognize if we want to find our way back this way. That's just the way I grew up. I remember the same thing happened to me too, in the same fucking woods. When I was a kid, and I was probably, I don't know, 7 or 8, like I said, fucking out walking around in the woods by myself, and I got to a point where I didn't know where I was, and got a little panicked, and then I calmed down and said, "No, you know what? I know if I walk this direction, I'm going to come to the river. And once I come to the river, I know that the river flows downstream at my grandmother's house. So once I come to the river, I just walk it downstream, and I'll come right to my grandmother's house." And that's just what I ended up doing. You gotta fucking sometimes slow down and go, "You know what? This isn't as bad as we think it is. I'm not hurt. Got plenty of daylight. I'm not starving." The fucking kids swore to God they were gone for an hour. "We had to been gone longer than that." I go, "No, you weren't gone longer than 25 minutes. I'm telling you." Yeah, they all did. They thought I was just fucking full of shit. Where's Dad's cutter's bud? Right there. Might as well take another bower out. This girl hasn't gone to the bathroom yet, but I got a feeling she's probably going to hold it till she goes and sheds. Oh, she's throwing in iridescence today. She is. Probably not gonna. Yeah, they're not gonna pick up there though. All right, girl, hold on. Yeah, not really, huh? Actually, it looks like shit more so than anything with the light coming through like that. This is my hypo. This is an IMG Hypo Jungle Pastel. This is Aurora. She's a female. And let me see. Oh yeah, she's starting to cloud up. I thought so. She's starting to cloud up. She was only about, I don't know, yay long when I first got her, and I've had her for what, 5 years? 5 years, I think. Been at least 4 anyway. I've only had 2 boas actually ever hiss, and it was Raven when I first got her, and Motley. I take Motley out, but I just fed her last night. And Motley's just was only like about this long. And first snakes I ever heard hiss. I had friggin' 20 something odd ball pythons and never heard a ball python hiss. I got lucky. I had nothing but super chill ball pythons right from get go. I only had one that I got from Brian Barchat that I bought from them, that she was a little nervous, and that's all it was. She was scared to death because she hadn't been handled a whole lot. You know what I mean? So she struck at me like twice when the first couple times that I took Feisty out, but that she's turned into the sweetest ball python now. But I've only kept her name just because I like her name, Feisty. You know, and I called her Feisty because, you know, she took a cut. She tried whacking me in the face the first time I took her out and was holding her. But I knew it was coming because I could see the way she was coiled up and she was just staring at me, no tongue flicker. And just as I start to pull her away so she can't bite me, she fucking lashed out at my face. Yeah, that made me fucking nervous and hell. Because at that point in time, I was still a little nervous. Because I wasn't always into snakes. I fucking was scared to death of them up to 8 years ago. But then I started watching YouTube because I'm an animal person. I just love animals. And I always loved loved the colorations and everything in the snakes. They just gave me the heebie-jeebies because I just thought that they just want to bite and all that. And just something about a snake having its mouth open and coming at me just freaked me out. I mean, I've had lizards and animals that, act like that, but Jesus Christ, just something really scary about a snake doing that, But then I started watching YouTube videos and I watching all these kids unbox these snakes and watching their parents sit right there, and I'm going, what in the fuck? These people just want to get, likes because their kid's going to get lit up, meaning bit. And it wasn't happening. I was like, what the fuck? No, you know what I mean? And I used to scream like a little fucking bitch if I saw a snake outside, literally. Because if I walked up to it and knew it was there, it was different. But I'm telling you, if a snake, and I walked up and I didn't know it was there, and I looked down and a fucking snake's here, I would jump. I'm telling you, 10 feet in the fucking air and sound like the biggest fucking little bitch there was. They freak me out that much because I just, watch TV and movies, but then I kept watching these YouTube videos and I was like, wait a minute here. They're not psychotic parents. They're just like I am, but they know the difference that I don't. That ball pythons aren't an aggressive snake. Their first reaction isn't that they want to bite you or anything. If anything, they want to get away. You know what I mean? And I was like, this is so fucking cool because I would love to have a snake, but I didn't, But then I researched for a year because I was like, man, I'm the type person, I got an animal regardless until it's not alive anymore. I don't go, oh, sorry, this isn't for me anymore. No, I do my research because I know I'm going to be stuck with the fucking thing. Because that's a responsibility that I realize that I'm gonna take on. If I get an animal, it's gonna live with me, and I'm gonna do my best, even if the fucking thing hates me, to make sure I give it the best life I can. That's just the way I am. So I researched for a wicked long time, probably over a year, and then I decided to pull the trigger and said, well, I'm gonna get a snake, but I don't think I want to just get a normal because they just kind of look like like a snake, you know what I mean? And I was like, well, and if I get an animal that doesn't like me, I want to at least be like to look at it. I mean, this was all my rationality you know, when I was going through in my mind, because I was like, you know, I was still scared to death just because I knew I could take care of it and knew how to take care of mites if it happened. I knew what to look for if it in RI. I knew what causes RI. You know what I mean? I went through all the worst case scenarios and learned how to deal with it. I didn't want to have my fucking pants down if something happened if I took on an animal. So, so I go and I buy a snake. I buy this guy right here, actually. Callie, this was my very first snake. And I didn't want to spend a lot of money, but I didn't want to just buy a $75, $100 snake. So I got Callie. I bought him off Sunset. Snakes at Sunset. Snakes at Sunset. It's just some fucking, you know, online place that sells snakes. And in anybody, it's kind of like Morph Market, but it's worse. Yeah, he was sold to me as a pastel coral glow. And like I said, I do have two of them. I had this guy given to me. This guy was free. I had 3 snakes given to me. Actually, I've had 4 snakes altogether given to me because people lost interest, and they're such sweet snakes. It drives me nuts. You know, I cannot imagine. I can see somebody going, "Hey, this snake's not for me because it hates me," or you know, I can't do anything with it because it just don't like me. I can understand that. But for fucking people to have these super chill snakes that literally, for you know, this is one of them, and I get it. She's a normal, and that's why they probably wanted to give her up. But she is the biggest sweetheart. This is Cleopatra. And they had her for 6 years. They had her since she was a baby for 6 years. The woman and her daughter loved her, supposedly. Her daughter did probably more than her, because had lots of pictures of her daughter holding her, you know, and look at her, you know. But this is Cleo. She's like 2016, 2013 snake. So she's like, what, 18 years old, something like that. Fucking, and she goes, she's free. I just want to get rid of her. And I had only had 2 snakes at the time. And they were little compared to this girl, you know what I mean? So I was like, man, can I come meet her and all that first? Because I was scared. I was like, man, all my snakes were like 300 grams, you know, 250 at that point. I mean, they were little. And, you know, for somebody that's still kind of nervous, this is a big fucking girl, you know, and to me, could do a lot worse damage to me. I know better now, but could do a lot worse damage than that little snake. You know what I mean? That's what I got in my head. So, but went down there, and this woman fucking took her hide off her, and she hissed at her. And then the woman acted like, oh my God, like, you know, all scared and shit. And I was like, wait a minute, I don't know if this snake's right for me. And then she goes, oh, I don't know why she did that. She's never done that before. And then the woman said to herself out loud, she goes, well, I've never taken her out of her hide like that before either. You know, and honestly, I think what it was is Cleo was sleeping. And when she took the hide off, it woke her up and it startled her. You know what I mean? And that's all it was. So then she was acting like she didn't want to take the fucking thing out of the enclosure. And I was like, what the fuck? She's had this snake since it was a baby. It's 6 years old. Don't you bite my feet, little bitch. She's trying to bite my feet. She was starting to chase them. So she goes and gets a coat hanger, you know, the old style bendable ones. And she pulls it out, and then she's holding it, and Cleo's just sitting there, you know, in her arms and whatnot. Here, I don't want you biting my feet while I'm not paying attention, so I'm going to put you back. Put you back in there. So anyway, so she's holding her, and I go, all right, can I hold her? And I'm holding her, and she's doing fine. She's, you know, I can tell she's sweet. I put her around my neck. I'm not really into feet that much. That must be Casey's old lady. But good. But no, so I held her, and then I ended up putting her around my neck, and I drove home because she was only 5 minutes away, which was weird too. It was almost like it was meant to be. You know what I mean? I only had to drive 5 minutes down the road to a trailer park, and then I picked her up and I brought her home, and I was so nervous at first. I kept opening her enclosure and like sitting back to her. You can watch my videos. You want to get a good laugh? Watch my videos. Every handling session I have, and every snake I ever bought is I've got an unboxing. And then obviously I did videos of me holding them after, but you would get a big kick out of how I interact with Callie even in the very beginning. I mean, I was so scared. And then the first time I actually had a snake really strike at the food, jumped the shit out of me. I honestly kept saying the worst thing about snake keeping is the feeding time, because I always see them so gentle and so sweet that I never worry about fucking, them biting me, and then see them go from that nice and sweet to you stick food in front of them, and as soon as they realize it's food and they fucking whack you, it freaks you out, because I didn't realize how fast it was, because I've never seen them move that fast other than to eat food. I produced this baby, and all the babies I produced right out of the egg was super chill. All of them. This girl likes to come out every night when I come up through here, because I go through tubs first thing in the morning, and then I go through them throughout the day too. And if they need to be changed when I go through, I change them. But I normally go through at 10 o'clock at night, my last time for the day. And then I'm back in here first thing in the morning. I clean every day. I don't have to work. So for me, I prefer to keep them clean. And my snakes like it clean, because literally when they go, they'll be hanging at the very other side of the other side of their enclosure. Or if they've gone so much that it like takes up 3/4 of their enclosure, they'll be all coiled up on top of their hide, staying out of it. I'm telling you, if you keep your snakes used to being clean, they'll want to be clean. And but that's just something that I learned over the time. I have 40. I have 40 snakes. I got 35 ball pythons, and I have 5 boa constrictors. I know. And I didn't get into this to breed either. This has nothing. I love animals that much, and if you've got snakes, you realize how simple it is. And as long as you don't have 40, it's really cheap, and you only got to feed them so often, and they only go to the bathroom so often. I'm like, to me, they're like one of the perfect pets, because yes, you get to spend more time with these guys than any chore for them. Most other animals, it's like half and half. You know what I mean? You normally half the time you're feeding, cleaning, or got something to do with the other animals. And with snakes, literally, you feed them. I wait 3 to 4 days. I can hold them. I do hold them even after I fed them. But for the most part, you wait 3 to 4 days, and they'll go to the bathroom. Once they've gone to the bathroom, it's on. You can hold them whenever you want, as long as you want. Well, I can, because they're just used to it. You know what I mean? And and you can do that every fucking day, because in the next day you're not feeding. In the beginning, you feed it once a week, and then it's once every 2 weeks, and then for me it was once every 3 weeks. And now I got some snakes like fucking Aurora, not Aurora, but Roxy, my heavy snake, my heavy boa. She eats every month and a half now because she's eating extra large rats. And if I feed her an extra large rat once a month, she'll get fat. You know what I mean? And I'm not making her fat. I can feed her a large, but a large doesn't even put a lump in her belly. You know what I mean? So yeah, I could feed her once a month and feed her a large, but I'm really giving her undersized food at that point. So it depends on your snake. I know everybody says, oh, once a month, you know, and this and that. Hey, what's going on, Dale? There's Dale. But normally everybody says, oh, you know, at least once a month. Well, I've got a girl that I hold out a month and a half. I will feed her if she starts slimming down, you know what I mean, in between that month and a half, well then I'll shorten it. But right now she's getting big, you know, at a slow rate, but not to where she's just maintaining. If I give her a fucking large rat once every month, it she will actually start losing some size. And to me, she doesn't look as healthy as she does when I give her an extra large rat every month and a half right now. But like I said, if she starts like gaining less weight because she's longer, well then I'll shorten it up, and then she'll go to back to a month every feeding. You know, Raven same way. She gets a large rat, so she's once every month. If I feed her every 3 weeks like that, she starts looking, you know, the top stays narrow, but it starts to get that little bit of, you know, chunk to her on the underbelly of her. You know, so I really try. I feed by watching their body now. You know, when they get big like that, I just start watching their body, their what do you call it? Body type, body size. You know, I just pay attention to that. If they look like they're a little fat, then I hold them out a little more. You know, I'd rather hold them out than give them smaller size. You know, plus all when I do that, all I'm doing is taking away from one of my other snake that's supposed to eat that size. You know what I mean? So then I'm light that one rat as opposed to, oh, I should just leave her be for a couple more weeks and then give her the size she normally eats, you know. And I'm pretty sure Dale's probably doing the same thing too, even with boas. I mean, even with my ball pythons. I got some that, okay, I normally feed every 2 weeks. Well, now it seems like they've packed a few extra pounds that I don't really like the looks of, or whatever, not pounds, but you know what I'm saying. Looks a little chunky. So I'll go, you know what, I'm going to hold them out another week. You know, I'll go 3 weeks and then I'll go in fucking, you know, give them their normal size food. Yeah, sometimes I used to go and give them a smaller size, but like I said, all I ended up finding out is I'm just taking away from something that should be eating that size, and now I'm stuck with a fucking large rat that I can't feed that snake. You know what I mean? As opposed to just going and keep them on the size that they're supposed to be on and just hold them out a little extra. Some extra time. I gotta put her fucking things back on. Get her back on her heat. Anybody else ready for fucking spring? I am. I fucking hate winter. I know, I don't know why fucking somebody that hates winter would stay in fucking Maine, huh? I'm a good example of what not to do if you don't like living in Maine. I don't like winter. Shouldn't live here. Definitely shouldn't live here. Caesar bud. Who else we take out? Here's a pretty girl. This is Pixie. This is Pixie girl. She eats small rats. She eats every couple weeks. Actually, I think she eats Saturday. I got 10 I gotta feed Saturday. I feed 3 different nights a week. I have a set of snakes. I have some I feed on Mondays, and they always will eat on Monday or be a bye week for them on a Monday, but they always get fed on Monday. On Mondays when they're supposed to eat. And then I got another set of snakes that eats on Wednesdays, always has been since I've had them. And then I got another set of snakes that eats on Saturdays. I don't feed 40 snakes all on one night. Holy fuck. There'd be, I don't normally have refusals, but every once in a while I'll have one that doesn't want to eat this week, or maybe for a couple weeks, but then they eat, you know what I mean? So by me not feeding all of them, I never have any fucking, I don't have to throw anything away. Because if for some reason something don't eat on Monday, I'll just go to the list for Wednesday night and I'll feed something on, for Wednesday on Monday. And when Wednesday comes, obviously that snake's already been fed. Yes, it's not on Wednesday, but it's still for Wednesday, so. And that way I never have to throw food away. If I fed fucking, 40 snakes and I took out 40 fucking rats, I guarantee you there'd always be somebody that probably might not want to eat that night, and that sucks. I mean, I did it when I only had 3 fucking snakes, and I always still fed on different nights just for that reason, because in the beginning I realized, hey, having 2 snakes and I feed them both on the same night, that's, one of them might not eat, and then I got to throw that fucking meal away. So I started right from the beginning. Once I had 2 snakes, I go, I'm going to feed them on different nights. Plus, it was also so I always had a snake I could hold. Because in the beginning, it sucks waiting that 3 days for them to digest, even 2 days or whatever, for them to digest before you could hold them. So I said, hey, I'll get another snake. It'll help clean up if the first one don't eat. And I always have a snake I can hold. You know what I mean? So it worked out perfect. Fucking, and that was my, my thinking at first. And then the more snakes I got, then it was just like, well, you know what? Because I was doing like Monday and Saturday. So I was like, well, instead of doing it, 2 nights a week, when I got 20 snakes, I said, well, I'll do a Wednesday night. So I do Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturday night. And I feed 40 snakes, that way. And I do break it up, though. I'm not feeding like 10 one night, 10 the next time, or what, 12, 14, whatever it works. So, no, I went and fed like half. I'll feed, if it's 14, say that on that night, I'll take half of them and feed those and call a bye week for the other 7. So that way I'm not feeding 14 at one time either. So I don't have 14 snakes or 40 snakes that all go to the bathroom at the same time. They all go, sometimes I have a couple that will end up together, like Monday and Wednesday night snakes, or Wednesday night snakes and Saturday night snakes might end up overlapping and going to the bathroom. I feed frozen thawed. I do have 1 snake out of this whole fucking clutch that I wasn't able to transfer over to fucking frozen thawed. And so I do have 1 ball python. I have to go and spend $10 to $12 fucking dollars for 1 fucking rat for her, every 2 weeks, and it fucking blows chunks. And I probably should have tried to sell her, but these are my pets. I just had somebody the other day reach out, the some of you might remember, I had a girl that came and I gave her like 4 or 5 enclosures, glass enclosures that, I weren't going to do nothing with. And they were the nice ones, the Extro Terrors with the 2 double doors in the front. I had 3 long ones and 2 of the, I don't know, with a fucking 18 by 18 cube. And then I had the 36 by 18s, 3 of the 36 by 18s, and I had 3 of the cubes. That's what it was, of the 18 by 18s. And I gave them to her for nothing, and I told her that, because she brought her kids over too, and I showed them all my snakes, because I love showing my snakes off, and it ain't because I want clicks and I think I'm fucking cool. It's because I want to show the other side of the snakes that people don't see. The shit that you see on TV isn't how normal snakes behave. If you're fucking seeing a snake being all aggressive and shit, probably 5 minutes before they turned the camera on, they were probably messing with it, trying to get it to act like that. Because most snakes just are gonna fucking try to get away from you. Even your black mambas, for the most part, will try to get away from you. The fucking ones that they show that are all hissed up and all that, it's because they fucked with them to get them to that point. And yes, if you fuck with anything long enough and enough, it's gonna fucking, backfire on you. It's gonna tell you, it's gonna show you. And that's what 90% of those snakes are doing when they fucking show them in that light. Somebody was just poking and prodding it so they could get it to react like that, whether they're trying to show and talk fucking, and explain information and about these snakes, this and that. It doesn't matter. They fucking could do that without fucking making the snakes fucking act all aggressive and shit like that. Yes, people need to know that they can act like that, but they should also be telling people, look, they're acting like this because we're messing with them. It's not because we're just sitting here looking at them and shooting a video and telling you people about it. It's because somebody's been sitting here poking, prodding, picking it up by its tail, and I just know it is, because my snakes aren't special snakes. I got ball pythons and I got boas. Yes, we all know that ball pythons, for the most part, are the super friendly snake. But we've all seen those ball pythons that are fucking like, just fucking whack, whack, whack. Fucking, and people just can't do anything with them. You know what I mean? I've got 40 fucking snakes and I don't have not one that's like that. I don't have a bitey one. I don't have a defensive one, whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't have one. I don't have a snake that acts up in any way. The worst act out I get now is a fucking snake might not eat for me that night. I mean, literally, I'm telling you, these are the annex that I go through with my snakes. That's the worst thing that's happened in 7 years, of them acting out. I've only been bit once by Feisty, maybe twice by Feisty, but it was when she was a baby, so it wasn't nothing, and it just felt like somebody sticking some 36 grit sandpaper over my finger and squeezing and yanking it off. You know what I mean? It wasn't nothing. Oh, that's cool. That's cool, Casey. I appreciate you fucking hanging out. I appreciate you bringing fucking some friends with you. I do. Oh. Because, yeah, we are all kind of like-minded. That's why we've been fucking hanging out for so long. And I haven't been around, so we haven't gotten... Evie's been back to work, and obviously she's probably getting ready to move, too. Hopefully she fucking can watch and hang out with us when she's down there, Casey. And don't worry, you don't have to answer, dude. You don't have to answer. I get it, you're busy. You're not doing it because you're a dick. You're just busy. This is the mother to this girl. Well, I'll show you a different one. But you saw not the albino with the orange and white, but the other one that would look like gray and all that. But this is mom to this girl. This is a black pastel, super pastel leopard. She's a leopard, black pastel, super pastel. That's what she is. And this is mom. She's a leopard pastel. Mom is 100% het for clown. Right? Yes. She's het for clown. Not 100%. She's het for clown. This girl right here, this is my leopard. Pastel leopard. This is just a pastel leopard. Het for clown. And this is one of her ospreys. She's a leopard. A leopard, black pastel, super pastel. She's got a crazy pattern. I love this pattern on her. And then this other girl I had, yeah, I think so too. She is. And obviously that's why she's a keeper. I fucking had such a hard time. I sold like 15 babies, 12 to 15 babies, I guess. Actually, maybe it was less than that. I don't know. I think it was like about that. But this one that I had out earlier is also her sister. And she's a super pastel, is what this one is, right? Oh, she's a super pastel leopard, is what this girl is. This girl is a super pastel leopard. I do have what is she? She's I have just a pastel leopard that is amazing. That's like her mom. Mom is a leopard pastel, but wait till I show you her baby. And I'll pull mom out again, but this is a super pastel leopard. And this girl right here, they both are. You can't see the yellows in this girl. This girl is yellows. It faded a lot, but she was like bright yellow, and that's like a gray, and then the real black border. You know what I mean? She's gorgeous. That's why I kept both of these girls. I couldn't get rid of them. You know, I just couldn't let myself get rid of them. And I just had somebody the other day, that girl that, like I was saying, that girl that I gave the, oh, you're in the wrong tub. You're in the wrong tub. That girl that I gave those enclosures to, she just contacted me like 2 days ago because I told her when she got ready to get a snake for her kids to let me know, and I'm sure I could fucking hook her up with a perfect snake. You know, that would be, you know, chill and all that right from get-go, and her kids would be able to handle it and all that, right, you know, right off. And well, that was like last year that she came and got those enclosures. Well, she just hit me up like 2 days ago and says, hey, we're ready to get a snake. Was wondering if you had anything. And because I fucking went through my head, and I got plenty of snakes that would be perfect. But the reason they're perfect is because, and they're also perfect for me. You know, I don't really care about the fucking morphs. A good looking snake to me is a good looking snake. I don't, you know, price. I've got snakes that to me, I should have paid a lot more than I did for them. But because of, you know, what people felt that they had inside of them and this and that made it to where they weren't worth it, you know, to get more money. I loved it because I went strictly on fucking looks because I didn't plan on breeding in the beginning. And then when I did breed, I only did it, 4 times. And it was just so I could say that I did it, and I wanted to see what I could fucking possibly get. And you know, and obviously it's awesome to produce your own, you know, a few of your own babies. You know, so I was like, well, this is a win-win. I've got snakes that are of age now. And I said, I'll just go and pair a couple of them and hope that one takes. Well, I paired 2 girls and they both took. And quick. I had literally, however long it is from the time that they go and conceive and you count the, if everything's perfect, they landed almost perfectly. I mean, everything was like perfect. Like I had fucking paired them at the exact right time that I should have, because it was so fast. They got knocked up right off, and I had 2 clutches, and I had 1 clutch, my Clown Heifer Pied clutch. I had 4 slugs and I had 4 good eggs. Feisty's clutch, my Clown 100% albino, to my male albino Enchi 100% Clown male, I put together. I got 6 for 6 good eggs and 6 fucking 6 good eggs with no slugs. So I was pumped about that, and I did all right. I got 1 Enchi Clown one Clown Enchi albino in that clutch, and then I got an albino, and then I got this guy. I got him still. This is Apollo, and he's a Enchi Clown, and he's gorgeous. And I got this Enchi Clown 100% half albino. He's one of the snakes I got out of the clutch. I got a couple females that were Clown 100% het for albino, no Enchi, no visual Enchi, so they were just albino. But back then, I got $600 a piece for them back then. You know what I mean? It was good. The time was good then, and that was actually still a good deal for them too, because you could still get them anywhere for around almost $800. You know what I mean? So I actually got really good. I sold a couple of them for like $600 a piece. I mean, I did all right. I didn't do fantastic, because I don't know. You never know what you're supposed to ask for shit. You go on Morph Market, and the prices are, some people are selling so cheap, and then other guys are fucking so expensive. So I just kind of try to put mine in the middle. And it's hard even doing that because I'm nobody. I got no name, so what makes me think mine are fucking worth fucking in the middle tier? You know what I mean? But I just said, fuck it. You know what? They're my snakes. I'm going to put what it's worth to me to sell them. I don't care what anybody says. You know what I mean? Because that's what it boils down to. How much do you love your animal, and how much does somebody else love it more? And I also said too, when I bred, I didn't want to breed any normals. I didn't want any normals because they're not worth nothing, and people buy those on a whim. Have no idea how to take care of a snake because they're so cheap, $50, $75 at my local pet store. You know what I mean? And I was like, and that's at a pet store. So that means I'm going to have to fucking charge 30, $50 tops, if I'm going to sell them online, because everything online is always cheaper than it is at a pet store. You know what I mean? And they don't even know what the fuck they're selling you. It just says fucking, oh, that's a cinnamon, but it might have fucking 4 fucking other snakes in there. Yeah, I know. No, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just a guy, and I know these guys all sound the same way. You know what I mean? Mutation creation. I'm sure when he started, he was selling snakes way before he picked up the video. But he did the same thing when he started shooting videos. Had no idea. You know what I mean? Yes, he had a name, but now everybody knows that name. Brian Barczyk, everybody knows that name. And I don't care about being like that. But I just was like, well, who am I to fucking... But they were my snakes, and that's where I draw the line. When I own something, it doesn't matter what fucking society thinks that something's worth to me. because I just know what something's worth to me, and I've always said it. You've got to love it more than I do, and if you love it more than I do, throw that number at me, and I'll tell you whether you love it more than me. And a lot of times they don't love it more than me. So I just put a price out there, and they either want it. They can tell me to pound sand, but it don't matter. I still get to keep the snake for the amount that I want, that I'm willing to keep it. And they didn't want to pay what I was willing, for me to, what I'm willing to let go of it for. It's a win-win for me. I get to keep a snake I really didn't want to sell anyway, so, and now that I've had them for so long, it would have to be somebody like Evie, or somebody I truly trust with my snakes, in order for me to give anything up that I have in here, because I'm so afraid that somebody else isn't going to treat them the way I have, or as good as I have. Gonna have respect for them, not just gonna reach in and yank them out and flop them in their tub and then fucking close them up. I've never done that. I've always been so gentle. When everybody says go in quick and out fast, I've never done that. I've always, it didn't matter what snake it was. I go in easy and I come out easy. And I pet my snakes. I pet them just like a dog. I don't always go in and take them out. Sometimes I just reach in and do this and give them pets, and it's just for the simple fact that I'm saying, hey, how you doing? You mean something to me. You're not just something that lives in this tub. You mean something to me. Even though there are people out there go, oh, you don't love your snakes because look how you keep them. Well, this works for me. They eat all the time. They shed have full sheds, and they eat amazing. I don't have any issues. This works best for me. It's not because I'm a breeder. It's just, it's way too dry up here. If I put them in a glass enclosure, I'd have to have a mister up here all the time. And then I also take a chance that some days it's too much moisture. And then you worry about fucking algae and bacteria and, all that shit fucking can go off. This is just, to me, a lot more sterile and clean wise. And my snakes are all happy, because I've always said it. It don't matter whether it's a person, a kid, a person, a human, or whatever we are. If we're not happy, we act the fuck out. We are gonna show you that we are fucking miserable some way, some way. We're gonna get that across to somebody. Hey, I've had enough. That's it. And that's just the way it's going to be. See those eyes? See those eyes? You tell they're blue. And you see, no acting out. No acting out. Not scared. He's not all ridged up. You know what I mean? He's just sitting here with me. Like I said, I don't normally mess with my snakes if they're in blue, but I can. And I can go in every one of my enclosures. Casey will vouch for it. I can go in any one of these enclosures and never get a fucking snake that acts out, that hisses or looks at me as I'm intrusive and intruding on them. They all just sit here and let me do what I want. I'm not special, but there are lots of people that have the same relationship with their snakes, because we show them respect. We're not herky-jerky when we have them out. We're not just, displaying them and this and that. You know what I mean? You watch me, and I tell people all the time, instead of watching how I keep my snakes, watch how my snakes interact with me. If this was so mean and against what, everything that fucking snake fucking people should strive for, don't you think one of my snakes would be like, hey, fuck this? I don't tap train none of my boa constrictors. I take them out, and I take them out just like if they were a ball python. It don't matter to me. A snake is a snake, that's not venomous, obviously, but I want to get one of those tree boas. I want to either get an emerald or a tree python, man. And I'm gonna hold the fucking thing. I know she's just a ball python, but this is another one that I had given to me. And you'd swear to God she's been in my care the whole time. They said, oh, she's a shitty eater. She doesn't eat well. She's in a 40-gallon glass enclosure when I got her. Got some sort of goddamn, chip bark in the bottom of it with a heat mat on the side. No, a heat mat on the bottom. Got this much substrate too. I don't know how in the fuck they thought that it was going to get through that substrate, but they got a heat mat on the bottom of the tank, and they had a probe. The heat probe was stuck on the side of the tank. Here's the heat probe on the side of the back side of the tank, and here's the heat mat on the bottom. And granted, the bottom of the glass tank was fucking shattered. Why? Because the fucking heat mat got too hot. You can't have the probe's got to be on the heat mat. How the fuck they were regulating the temperature in the tank, not the heat mat. It was like, what in the fuck? And she goes, yeah, she don't eat good. She only eats like once a month, once every month and a half. I brought her home, stuck her in this tub. She eats like clockwork. She's never refused a meal. No, it's not good. And and somebody else told me, I think it was fucking Evan. Evan said that he went to somebody's house and they were doing the same thing. Had a fucking heat mat on the bottom and had the probe on the side of the fucking tub or tank. And he tried to explain to him, look, that's not how that works. You're not regulating the ambient temperature in the enclosure. You're supposed to be regulating the heat spot. It's crazy what fucking people think. Ain't crazy. Well, yeah. Evan said that chick snake died, and Evan said that too. The day that Evan messaged me about that snake, he says he goes, I know damn well that snake's gonna die. And I hadn't talked to Evan in a little bit, and then when I came back on and did a live after a couple months, I remembered and I asked him about it, and he said, oh yeah, he goes, fucking that snake ended up dying. People, because somebody else that thinks because they've had snakes for a long time and it worked for that snake that they obviously did that with, they think because it works with that one snake that this could be just law of the land. And it's like, no, and that's the other thing. Some snakes, and I will be the first one to admit, some snakes do awesome in glass, some will do great in a great big enclosure, but overall, the average ball python does not do well in those kind of enclosures. You can do it, and some of them are fine with it, but on the average, I would say that they do way better in a tub. Most of all the ones that I've seen that are in a tub and actually kept as a pet, not a breeder and this and that. I mean, somebody that interacts with that snake, the ones that are in tubs normally are super chill. They're not defensive. They're not so jumpy. Because even the girls that when I got them, they were in the enclosures. Even Cleo was. She was in a 2x4, and that's fine. I'm not saying you can't do it, but she was in that, and she went almost a year without eating. And my buddy kept telling me, fucking Dale kept saying, "Look, I'm telling you, throw her in that fucking CB70 tub, and she'll eat." And I kept saying I can't. She's been in that since she's had it, since it was this big, you know. It's been in that enclosure, and you know, and I set the enclosure up exactly the way the woman had it, you know, took pictures so that way shit wasn't rearranged and all that. And I actually gave it belly heat. It had no belly heat. They were just using like fucking LED lights that don't even emit heat. So what I think was happening is the snake was eating for her when the actual temperature in their house was warm enough, and the snake felt okay, now I can eat because it's warm enough. You know what I mean? Because she was saying it wasn't eating on a regular basis. Well, finally, I listened to Dale and I threw in that tub. And 2 days later, I offered her food. 2 nights later, I offered her fucking food and she took it. And she's been eating like clockwork ever since. I've never put her back in that fucking enclosure. You know what I mean? And that's why when I got Brandy after that experience with Cleo and already knowing that they said that she was a problem eater, I took Brandy right out of her fucking, which I would have anyway because the glass bottom was broke. I mean, but I would have probably taken a chance of maybe putting her in some sort of other enclosure like that, as opposed to if I hadn't known that Cleo was like that, and that's all it was, is she didn't like that enclosure. And, you know, yes, he doesn't like being ignored. Yes. This is Diablo. This is my cane Corso. All right, bud. You're hurting me now. Get down. Get down. Get down. Nobody wants to. Yes, everybody said hi. They said hi. They said hi, bud. Yes. Oh, you got an eye booger. Let that get your eye booger. You got an eye booger right here, bud. Let that get it. Good boy. There's one right there, too. Good boy. Good boy. But now you made Dad forget what he was talking about. But no, so I put her in that enclosure, and she's been just like Cleo. She eats great. You know, whenever I feed and whenever I offer, she eats. Yeah, well, and he's a wicked talker. He'll do this little, and it sounds like he's growling, and I took it as a growl at first. Sometimes he just gets still and go, but it's so light that at first I thought he was growling at me, but he just talks. He's always talking. You know what I mean? And it's not always a bark, you know. Yes, he does that same growl, but when he's being and I've only heard it a couple times, when he's actually being like aggressive and like, you know, acting protective, then he sounds like a bear. But he does all the time. He'll do this, and now it's a big joke, and I just call it mean puppy. And I go, "Oh, you do a mean puppy," and he'll go, "Arr," and he sounds so mean and shit, but he's just playing. But at first, I thought he was being a dick, but you know, he just likes to talk. No, he uses his growl voice more than anything. No, he wants to go downstairs. He's fucking over it. He's over fucking wanting to hang out up here. I got my white bike all tore apart. Well, I got the fucking. I think I got a piston slap in my electric glide. So how come? No, I figured somebody would fucking laugh at me. You guys haven't noticed my new haircut? I figured that'd be the first thing that fucking anybody'd say. Fucking what in the fuck is a 53-year-old man doing with a fucking mohawk? Fucking, you trying to be a fucking kid? No, I've always liked fucking mohawk. I've always wanted one. I don't know why. But I've had it all now. I've had braids. I mean, I used to have long hair. I've had braids. I've had fucking, I haven't had dreadlocks because there's no way I can just let my hair get that dirty. I just don't even understand what was so great about dreadlocks. People are like, oh, that's so awesome. I'm going, you do realize all they do is they don't wash their hair and they just keep fucking rolling it. Ugh. You know what I mean? So I've had everything. I've had fucking spiked hair with the mullet on the back. You know what I mean? I've had it all. And at my age, I'm sick of fucking. I'm lucky too, because it only costs me, what, $12 to get a haircut normally. And normally I rock a flat top. You know what I mean? So, yes, I know everybody's used to seeing me with short hair, but I figured somebody would have said, what in the fuck, guy? You know, we're all fucking close enough around here. We've all, razzed each other. And I was surprised that nobody fucking said nothing. Douchebag, what the fuck did you do to your head? But no, when I went to my son's fucking wedding, their DJ, tall guy, not fat or anything, but he wasn't like muscular, but a good sized dude, you know what I mean? And he was rocking the fucking, the mohawk, but he like shaves his sides. I don't shave my sides. I just take, hair razor. It's not like a face razor, but clippers. I use head clippers. But I use like ones that are made to, get it close without not being bald. And I do that about every 2 weeks, just go and redo it. And I'll be doing it Sunday because it starts to feel fuzzy. But I don't want it bald there. I just don't want, I want to be able to tell that it's not supposed to be tall on top and then fucking, fluffy on the sides. So, but I told my wife when I saw it, I go, man, I think I could rock a fucking mohawk. And my wife looked at me and she goes, I'm sure you could. She goes, but I hope you don't do it. You know what I mean? And after that, I kept mentioning it to her. Go, look, I'm fucking sick of paying $12 for a fucking haircut. I said, I guarantee you and I could maintain a mohawk, and I said, you already said that you don't think I'd look like ridiculous. I'm not going to look great, but you said you wouldn't, would be fucking opposed to going into public with me still. You wouldn't be embarrassed by me. And I finally talked her into it. Well, I didn't really have to talk her into it bad much. She just kept saying, do you really want me to do that? And fucking, oh, all right. Because she kind of made it sound like fucking, it's a stupid idea. But then finally I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm done paying $12. And that's cheap. Because normally it's $20. But I got a barber that I've been going to since I was a kid. And it just went up to $12. It used to be fucking $8. But because of inflation, when Corona hit, it went from $8 to $12. So, yeah. And I mean, before that, I was only paying $6 for a fucking haircut for the longest time. And then the $8, it jumped to $8, but it's been at $8 for probably 10 years. And then Corona hit, and then he had to go to $12, and he felt bad. I fucking felt bad fucking only giving him fucking $8. That's why I always gave him $12 before. When I got an $8 haircut, I give him $12. So now when I get a $12 haircut, I give him 15 and, tell him obviously keep the change. But it sucks because I'd rather give him a $14, a $4 tip because he's been doing it. He actually, that's what he did in the military. He was a military barber. So the flat top was he gave phenomenal flat tops. And I couldn't get anybody else to give a real flat top. It was always their version of one. And he did the actual real military flat top, which is what I wanted, But I'm at the point now, I could care less about my fucking hair. I just don't want shaggy. I don't like shagginess. I'm only going to let the top grow a little bit taller, and then that's it. And then I'm going to maintain that and obviously get the back as long as the top, and then it's just maintain. I'm not going to go fucking, it ain't going up like this, and it's not going to be colored. It's going to look like it does now, just a little bit taller, but that's it. Not going to be all weirded out. Like, no, I'm not going to dye yet. I'm definitely not going to dye yet. I definitely do not want anybody to take me as a lib. That's all. Not that all libs are bad, but there's enough of them bad that I don't even want to be associated with one. No, you're all good. You're all good, Bob. It's all good. I really don't know what else to do. Maybe I should probably go off for today. Yeah, pink and blue. Yeah, red, white, and blue. If I was going to do any colors, it'd probably be red, white, and blue. It sure of hell wouldn't be anything close to fucking anything that could put me into that group. You know what I mean? I've been for the last fucking couple days, I've been going back and forth with all these, far left people. Like I said, I'm not saying, I know not all liberals are bad, just like they know that not all of us Republicans are bad, but there are some really fucking nutty libs out there. And, and I don't get it. Anybody in their right mind knows you don't go against the fucking police force or law enforcement. Nobody ever wins. Nobody ever wins that. And, okay, buddy. I'm in Maine. You can't tell my accent. I sound like fucking, what's his name? Not the singer. Bob Marley. Some people think that I do this on purpose. You're dead sexy. I had a rat's tail too, man. I had a rat's tail. I had a mullet. Because when I shaved my mullet off, that's when the rat's tails came out, and I had a rat's tail and all that shit too. I mean, I've had it all. I mean, I've had the real high spiked hair too, where you had to mousse it and gel it, and I just hated having anything in my hair. You know what I mean? So that was short lived. I only did that for I think I had it done for a dance, maybe a prom or something, that I had it spiked, and I tried doing it for a little bit after that. And then I was just like, fuck this. No shit. See, I never got lice. I fucking was lucky. But I'm telling you, I think some people just have like a natural repellent. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, I didn't take a shower every night, but I took a shower every other night. And I know it has nothing to do with fucking, because you got some people will say, no, lice actually likes clean hair as opposed to dirty hair and all that. It depends on the amount of dandruff you got and all that. But I swear to God, I'm not allergic to nothing, and I almost think that has something to do with it. Like, my body has like a natural thing that just defends shit like that off. Because, yeah, I remember being in school, and the library teacher and like the fucking school nurse would come to your desk, and they'd paw through your hair with a fucking pencil. They'd have you give them your pencil, and they'd use the eraser and fucking pick through your fucking hair. And all of us are sitting in the classroom. They did it in front of everyone. You know what I mean? They didn't even pull you in at one at a time into an office or something. They did it with fucking all the kids in the room, one at a time. And we're all watching fucking them go through everybody's hair. And cause as soon as they come across somebody, they go, hey, would you come with me? And you get to watch them all walk out in front of the whole fucking class, and everybody knows why. And I'm telling you, man, I was so fucking scared every time because I fucking worried about shit like that. When when now that you know and you're older, you go, hey, fucking, even clean people get it. You know what I mean? But back then, it was just told, oh, you're dirty. Fucking, that's why you get lice, because you're dirty. You know what I mean? And oh my God, as a kid, I could just about imagine being one of the ones after fuck. And they always got teased when they come back. Oh, stay away from them. They got lice. It's cruel. I guarantee you I was one of them. I know I was. You know, I was the first one to fucking run around and tell the ugly girls that they were ugly, and I don't know what made me feel that I was so special that was my job, but I would sing that fucking shout at the devil song at them because it talks in that song about fucking ugly girls and this and that. And I was bad. I was one of those asshole kids, but we all was, even the kids that got picked on had somebody else that they picked on. You know what I mean? We all fucking did it. Everybody fucking had somebody else that they picked on. It was a natural thing. Even our own friends, we would razz and say shit that was close to, what you would say to somebody you don't even like. I mean, it was just the way we was back in the 70s. You just didn't care. People were going to either like you or they didn't, and you don't care one way or the other. I'm still like that. I tell people all the time, you either going to like me or you're going to hate me. And all my friends say, oh no, it's worse than that. They'll tell you, they'll say you either love him or you completely hate me. And that's it. There's no in between. There's no, oh, I kind of like the guy, or it's either I fucking hate you or they really, like me. They're really my friend. You know what I mean? No, I don't have many of those. But I have over the years, had friends that were like that for a while, and then, we just go separate ways or whatever. Yeah, I mean, and I guarantee you, in that era, we used our imaginations. I mean, in the springtime when the culverts were flowing, when we were fucking, 5, 6 years old, we're huddled around a culvert. I was, and my friends, and we got fucking a bent nail with a piece of string on a fucking stick, and we're acting like we're fishing in the goddamn, storm drains. Not storm drains, but the culverts. We didn't have storm drains. You know what I mean? We had culverts at the end of the driveways and this and that. If we weren't riding our bikes, we were fucking doing shit like that. Playing in the culverts, acting like we was fishing. Or we were down at the frog pond, catching frogs and turtles. Or fishing, real fishing, But even when I was real fishing, when walking, like I said, going and doing real fishing, some days we didn't feel like real fishing. We just sit around that fucking culvert, 5 or 6 of us, that all went to school together, all lived on the same road. And that's what you did. You used your imagination. We built cabins. I mean, we built cabins in the woods. We built cabins in our yards, and it didn't even have to be nothing extravagant. All you needed is a place that was super brushy, and you'd make a little fucking opening, and then you'd open up like the middle of it, but people wouldn't even know you were in there because it was just a big pile of brush that's grown up, but it's so thick that you could be right in the middle of it and nobody even know you were there. We built snow forts. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, we used everything. We used our imagination, man. We were the first kids, building ramps for our bikes, before now and I swear to God, the reason we got all the parents that we do now is because you got too many single moms. Too many single moms bringing their sons up, and they're bringing them up like they would if they were their daughter, The fucking men need to be in kids' lives. Women, not all of them, but there are a lot of fucking vindictive women out there that just use the kid against the father. Even though he's a good dad, they know he's a good dad, but it just hurts too much for them to, yes, I'm telling you, too much fucking internet, period. But it's everybody now. It's not just the kids when it comes to the internet. Us too. Most of all the shit that's going on is due because of the fucking internet. Back in the 80s, you couldn't, misinformation spread by mouth. Now one mouth reaches, can reach millions of people. When before it was just the people that were hanging around in the circle. Now anybody says anything online and you're reaching multiple people. So all it takes is somebody to say something that's not true, but it's because it aligns with them. They start spreading it too. And I mean, we got it on both sides, I guarantee it. And we've always had storytellers since we've been kids. But the story didn't fucking pick up as much traction as it does now. I mean, Christ, it might take a week for fucking 20 people to find out this, a story that we tell in a circle of 4 people, And now, you say it, and as soon as it comes out of your mouth, 100 people already heard it or more. It's just crazy. Oh, I know, and it does too, and it is a thing. We go out to eat with my family, nobody's on their phone. And we don't have to tell anybody not to be on their phone. It's because we're a different generation. You know what I mean? Our oldest kid is 35. Our youngest kids are 29. I'm 53. You know what I mean? I always fucking said when I was younger, I wanted to have my kids when I was young. So that way, when I was in my 50s, my kids weren't going to say, hey, I would ask dad, but he's not, he's old. He's not in great shape. You know what I mean? I didn't want to lose out on any of the adult years with my kids because I was an old fart. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be, and there's nothing wrong with it. I get it. Some people fucking need to mature first, and I needed to have a kid to mature, and other people just need to fucking be able to grow to mature, and I needed something to make me. Yeah, see, I won't say we don't bring our phones. We all bring our phones, but nobody is on it. You know what I mean? Because for one thing, we're all there. My family's there. There's no emergency that's going to come up that I'm going to be having to worry about because my family is right there around the fucking table with me. You know what I mean? So I totally get that. There's no reason fucking anybody needs to. But there's always that chance that something could happen with a real close friend. And you know what I mean? So that's why I do it, But most of it's just because I'm used to having my phone with me all the time. It's funny because when I first started riding motorcycle, there was no cell phones. You know what I mean? And yes, we all knew that there's a chance that we could break down and this and that, but it wasn't There was no, oh my God. You know, you didn't go, oh my God, I don't want to go ride because I'm afraid I'll break down and I'm by myself. You know what I mean? We still did all that. We still drove off in our cars, taking a chance that our car could break down. You know what I mean? And then as soon as we got a fucking cell phone, I remember the first time that I took off on my motorcycle and I forgot it. It seemed like it was a big fucking deal. Oh my God. And I was just like, well, what the fuck did I used to do when I didn't have, when there was no cell phones? I didn't worry. You know, why am I worried now? It just was like, what the fuck? Just like before, I always had motorcycles with no gas gauge. Soon as I get a couple motorcycles that got a gas gauge, now all of a sudden I go to my shovelhead and I hop on that with no gas gauge and I go, oh, Jesus Christ. And I'm like, well, I never fucking worried about, running out of gas before. Why? Just because I'm used to having a gas gauge. Now am I all of a sudden got this worry on me when I drive my shovelhead and it don't. I'm going to do the same thing I used to do. When I stop, I'm going to pop the cap and look in. You know what I mean? We just get so used to this smallest minute thing, just like I said, a gas gauge. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden I'm riding a bike that don't have a gas gauge. And the first thought is, oh my God. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, guy? That's not a big deal. We didn't always have gas gauges on my fucking dirt bikes never had no gas gauge. Gas gauge was you pop the cap, look in. You know, I didn't learn until after a friend of mine goes, oh, you don't have one of these? And he pulls out a stick about yay long that he took all the bark off and he would mount it on his dirt bike somewhere. And when he wanted to check his gas, he'd fucking pull that stick out and stick it down in his tank. And he had marks on that stick to tell him how much gas he had. You know what I mean? And I was just like, well, see, even he, had a gas gauge, but it wasn't nothing that big of a deal. Still had a stop. We just get so fucking used to looking up and having something right there. Oh, you're right. I hate watching YouTube on Roku. What the fuck is the deal? You watch YouTube on your fucking phone. The commercials that you have to watch are 5 seconds fucking long at most. And you can always skip them after 5 seconds. I watch fucking YouTube on Roku. I might have to watch a fucking 30-second commercial now. Sometimes 60 fucking minutes. And it's like, and sometimes, yes, you can, it says, 60 seconds or 50 seconds. And after 40, after fucking 15, 20 seconds, they'll give you the skip option or next. And you hit next and it goes, okay, now you only have to wait 5 seconds. But it's just bullshit. My buddy watches it on his computer. And he just uses his computer and then he, Bluetooth it to his fucking TV. And I go, well, that must be nice. I said, fucking, you get to skip through all these fucking commercials after 5 seconds. I said, I watch it on my damn Roku and I might have to watch fucking a minute of fucking commercials. Sometimes it's only 5 seconds and then you can fucking fast forward it. But then other times you can't. Yeah, I know. Well, see, that's why I like Netflix. Netflix has got no commercials. HBO now's got commercials. And I think that's bullshit. That was one of the fucking big deals about having a movie channel is that there was no commercials. Only commercials were in between the movies playing. That was, once they started playing, there was no commercial. Now HBO does it, Showtime does it, fucking Prime does it. It's like, what the fuck, man? Big joke going around now in my area. We got a streaming tax that our governor just gave us. And then there was going around fucking yesterday that she's gonna fucking make us register our fucking lawnmowers. And I said yesterday, there's no fucking way I'm registering my lawnmower. I'll fucking hide it out back of my fucking house. I don't give a fuck. There's no way anybody will ever make me register my fucking lawnmower. Registering kayaks is a fucking joke, and they're lucky I'm not a kayaker anymore. I tell them to fucking pound sand there too. Try to make it sound like, oh, it's for the benefit of the fucking people that own shit so we can find it if it gets stolen. That's bullshit. They can't find nothing that's ever fucking been stolen, whether it's fucking registered or unregistered. Who the fuck they trying to kid? Same thing, oh, gotta register your dog. Why? So that way if he gets fucking picked up, we can figure out where the fucking dog belongs. You ever heard of fucking dog catcher or somebody bringing your fucking dog back? Fuck no. It's always a neighbor or some stranger that brings your fucking dog home because they don't do shit. That's just a way for them to take your fucking money and convince you that it's for your benefit. How much fucking money do we pay every month that we're told it's for our best interest? Well, my best interest is... I'm not afraid of the boogeyman. I don't know what your best interest is, but my best interest is keeping as much money as mine as I can. You know, paying for all this fucking dumb shit. We pay a fucking sales tax on water, for fuck's sakes. You know? We had to because fucking... because now in my area, you know, because we always take our dog to the vet, and we don't not register our animals so we don't have to take them to the vet. But what happened is, and it wasn't even us, our fucking vet screwed up. We had, what is it? Fucking, as long as they're over a year old or something, you can get like a 2-3 year rabies shot once they're not a puppy anymore. Well, that's what fucking happened with Diesel, my American Bulldog. We got him fucking vaccinated for the fucking, you know, for rabies. And it was like 2 to 3 years or something like that. You know what I mean? That we got that. So what happened is the vet screwed up, thought that it was only for a year and that it had lapsed. So they contacted the town office to tell them that we had a dog that weren't up to date on its rabies. So then the fucking town goes, oh, you have a dog? No, not only do we have one dog, they found out we had 2 dogs, and then they asked us how old they were. And fucking Diesel at the time was like 8, and Rocky was like fucking 11, 12. And they charged us fucking $11 for each year that they were alive. Fucking shoved it right up our fucking ass. And to come find out, like I said, it was the vet. The vet fucked up, and the vet called us up and said, sorry, we just realized that he got the 3-year, you know, vaccination shot, 2-year, whatever it was more than a year anyway. And they go, sorry, we screwed up. Your dog's fine. But it didn't matter. They had already gone and called the fucking town office. So after that, each year, they already knew we had a dog. So then after we got, after those 2 dogs passed away, fucking when we got Diablo, we had somebody fucking say that it was bullshit too. We got the animal control officer came to my house one night after I got home from work. I get home at work about 4:30. Okay. My wife is home at lunchtime, and she lets be back then because she worked fucking like 2 miles from work. I mean, 2 miles from home she worked. So she would go home at lunchtime, let the dog out, and then bring him back in and then go back to work. But we always watched Diesel, and Diesel always stayed home, and Diablo always stays home. He never fucking goes in the road or anything. Well, supposedly, I get home, I got the front door wide open, Diablo's sitting on the front steps, and car pulls in, truck pulls in, and I don't know who it is, so I go out, and I walk up and say, hey, and he goes, asked me, what my dog was, and I told him, and he goes, oh yeah, he goes, I've had, I had a Cane Corso, so it was cool. So he knew that Cane Corsos aren't always mean and nasty because he had one. So he wasn't worried or scared about my dog, which was cool because the dog was right there. And he goes, hey, he goes, it was brought to our attention that he was out in the road around 3 o'clock today. And I said, no, there's no way. And he goes, well, I'm telling you, one of your neighbors called and said that at 3 o'clock this afternoon, he was running out in the road, and they were concerned that he's going to get hit. And he goes, and it's been brought to our attention that you don't have a dog registered here. And he goes, that is your dog, right? And I go, yep. And I go, but I guarantee you, it weren't fucking 3 o'clock. And it weren't my dog running up and down this road. I said, because my wife and I both work, and my wife comes home at lunchtime and lets the dog out. But I said, she's standing outside with the dog if he's outside. I said, he's not just, left on his own personal recognizance. We watch him when he's outdoors. We make sure he stays in the yard and he doesn't go anywhere. And he was like 6, 7 years old at the time, maybe even older, and no, it was, I keep thinking Diesel, but no, he was like not even a year old. And I go, yeah, we haven't registered him yet. He's just a pup. We just got him, because he didn't know how long we had him. They don't know that we had him since he was 8 weeks. We might have had him at 6 months, you know what I mean? So we said, oh, we just got him and we're going to go down. So we ended up going down there, but I told him, I said, there's no fucking way. My wife works till fucking 5 o'clock. She don't even come home till 5 o'clock, and I don't come home till 4:30. I said, and he's in the house all day. I said, other than at lunchtime when my wife comes home, and I said, and he's out once I come home. I said, so whoever fucking told you that is fucking lying. But then they got me fucking for another $11 fucking dollars, to register him. And now we have to register him because they all fucking know that we got him. But yeah, I feel the same way. I just soon not register a fucking dog because he doesn't cost the town nothing. You know what I mean? He doesn't cost the town nothing. Him shitting in his own dooryard, him pissing in his own dooryard, him running around in his own dooryard. In the places that we take him, he's right there with me. If I don't have to pay tax to fucking walk down the street or go into a store, just to walk in a store, then he should be allowed to. I shouldn't have to fucking, pay anything for him. Nothing. He's not costing the town nothing. He's never bit nobody. None of my dogs have ever fucking caused any harm to anybody to where they call the cops or anything. Why the fuck do I have to register a dog for? It's fucking stupid. It's just because they want money. Everything's about money now. Greedy motherfuckers. I still could care less about money. I worry about making just enough money to maintain. That's all I care about. And that makes me happy. I'm not happy fucking being miserable working just so I can feel like, oh, I don't have to worry about nothing. Fuck that. Money is nothing. Money doesn't matter to me. Health and happiness is my two main concerns. Health and happiness. And as long as my wow woman is happy, I'm happy. I do what I want. I get to live with animals, and that's my favorite. My favorite thing is just animals. Anything to do with animals, and I'm a happy camper. I don't like people. Oh, I know, but California too. You can't have gas lawnmowers. You have to have all electric shit, and that's bullshit. 90% of people own gas, gas shit. To turn around and make a law and make these motherfuckers all have to get rid of their gas shit and then go spend money that they might not have to go get lawnmowers and line trimmers and leaf blowers that comply with the law. That's bullshit. But that's a lib-ran, state. So that's what they're going to get there. The libs, for some reason in California think that, they're just living the way that everybody should live and their shit don't stink and they're all about this and they're all about that, but they're all the ones that got gated fucking, gated driveways and they got security and all that shit that they're saying that we don't need. We don't need borders, but they all got borders around their fucking house. But no, we don't need borders here because they got their border, which is their house is boarded up. So they live in their little bubble and they don't care who the regular people are that don't have gates in their driveways. And all we got is locks on our doors, no protection other than locks on our doors. And it's just crazy. I don't understand it. But anyway, I'm going off for today. I'll be back on tomorrow. Appreciate fucking the new person, Sue. Oh, absolutely. I didn't watch the Emmys the other night, but obviously Billie Eilish, fucking, and any of them guys, who the fuck are they to tell us about what's going on in the real world when they live nothing but a make-believe world? Because we are not even close to what, their life. They have nothing in common with me other than I like to watch them make believe on TV. But that's all it is make believe. None of us live like that. None of us even think that way. Because all them guys think that they're better than everybody else. I'm not better than anybody here. I just try to be better than I was, at my worst. I just try to strive to be a better person than I was at my worst. I'm not going to even say that I'm going to try to be better than yesterday, because who am I to say that yesterday was that bad? I don't know if, to me, yesterday was fine. So I'd rather pick, I'd rather be better than my worst days, not yesterday, because yesterday I wasn't too bad. But yes, it was nice to meet you, Sue, and I will be back tomorrow. I'm gonna go ahead and say around 9 o'clock. I'll try to come up here at around 9 o'clock. So you guys tune in my time at 9 o'clock. What time is it here, Dale? Because you guys that might be somewhere else. What time is it here, Dale? To give you guys an estimate on what time it is, what the time difference is. Because Dale's the same time as me. He might have already left. It's 12:15 here. So look at your clock, and that's the difference. And I'm going to be, yes, it's PM, 12:15 p.m. 11:15. So we're off by an hour. So I guess your time I'll be on at 8:15. So just so that way there's no confusion. But thank you everybody for hanging out, and hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow. You guys bring some shit to talk about, because I probably just emptied a week's worth of lives today. So bring some shit to talk about, and we'll talk about it together. But everybody have a great day. Thank you, Casey. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Dale. And thank you, Evan. I think that's the 4 of you right now. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you hanging out with me this morning. All right. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Cheers. I'll wait so you can hear.